Hey everybody, this is the Sliders Review, and I'm here today to talk to you about Jessie, episode G.I. Jessie. I'm not sure what season this is. It might be 2, it might be 3. Just go to Disney Plus and just start scrolling until you find G.I. Jessie. So, this episode is really cool. It's a two-parter, and we finally get to meet Jessie's father. It's one of my favorite episodes and why I just picked it at random and everything. And so it's so funny because back in the day, I had no idea who her father was. It's the dude who plays the father in Villains of Valley View. And so, wow, he got his start in Disney many years later. This is like over a decade old, I believe. I think it came out in 2013, I believe. So it's quite up there and everything. This show still holds up, even though it's slightly problematic because it deals with racial stereotypes of, the sassy black girl, the smart, nerdy Indian dude, the valley white girl, something like that. I don't know what Luke is on the show. I know what he is in real life. May he rest in peace. Cameron Bryce. But I had no idea what he was in the show because they never stated it and stuff. And so Jessie's just one of those really good shows that was on Disney Channel. And I remember I was devastated when it ended. But hey, man, we got so many good seasons out of it. It's a shame it won't be on DVD. And it has never been on DVD and stuff. And it's quite a shame. And so this episode deals with Jessie going to visit her father. He has invited her to spend the weekend and stuff. And what's interesting about this episode is that love is in the air and 3 times the love. But I've decided not to make this into like a Valentine's video and everything, only because, well, I really don't feel like it. And also, like Valentine's Day has passed and I really don't feel like doing anything Valentine's unless it's really Valentine's-y. This is also not part of the Women's History Month, which is still this month, only because it really doesn't show Jessie in like the best view. So I just made it into like a regular video, my regular template, because this episode really shows her lack of parenting skills or guardian skills when it comes to babysitting the Ross's kids. And they are at their extreme worst in this episode, to the point where it's not so much uncharacteristic, but it's just like, man, who would want to babysit these kids? You know what I'm saying? Because they are so bad in this episode. And Emma is just uncharacteristic in this. Like, she doesn't even act the way she normally does. I'm surprised she did what she did and everything. And so even Robbie, to an extent, it's like, dude, you're supposed to be the good one and everything. And so, like I said before, Jessie has gotten like a message from her father. And remember, Jessie's father's in the military and she grew up on a military base. And so we really never get to see anything from her father. This is the first time. And we never see anything from her mother because her mother passed away when Jessie was really young. And so she wants Bertram to watch the kids for the weekend. He is the butler and he does not want to do it. He's also the lazy butler who loves to eat and everything. But he refuses to do it. And she's all like, but they're angels. And then we hear an explosion. What happened? Ravi has decided to shoot a little rocket into the air, but they're inside the building, so it goes through the ceiling and it hits a water tower, and then water crashes down on them. Very shocking for Ravi to do that inside the house because he knows that it's gonna go straight through the ceiling and everything. But the other kids wanted to see him play with it and crap. So she realizes, since they're little brats and everything, and they can't, be under the wing of Bertram, she needs to take them with her. So it's a trip to Texas, of all places. Now remember, they're from New York and everything. Her father and her haven't really spoke. He's pissed that she didn't join the military and that she flew all the way to New York to be an actress. But then she ended up becoming a nanny. So while they're in Texas on the military base, Bertram has decided to come because he heard about some type of free barbecue type thing that they're having, but they didn't have it. Bertram's whole story arc in this thing is that he's having a rivalry with the mess cook and everything. And she is not liking Bertram. He's all like, your food tastes boring and bland. And he's trying to teach her how to cook. And of course, those two just get into it. Turns out that she later on starts to have a crush on him. And so those two make for a really hilarious thing because he's always arguing with some female on the show when he's not arguing with the kids and stuff. It turns out Jessie has a rival of her own. This girl named Darla that she grew up with on the military base who threw her in a well. Jessie hates this girl because the girl used to bully her a lot. And so her father wants her to get along with the Darla girl, mainly because Darla's mom is his commanding officer. And so he really hates it when Jessie badmouths Darla and everything. Well, the kids finally get into it. The three youngest ones, Ravi, Suri, and Luke, they decided to get in this, I forgot what it's called. A buggy, I think. A beach buggy type thing. I think it's called, no, it's called something else. I'm just gonna call it a buggy. But they call it the Bat. It's this specialized military combat vehicle. But it's basically just a buggy and everything. And so it's like one of the most state-of-the-art things. It can fly, it can make toast, it can make an icy, it has rockets, it has nets, a grappling hook, all kind of stuff, right? So Luke is driving, or Robbie's driving, I can't remember which one, and they run into a statue. And the statue knocks over and it lands on Darla's mom. Jessie's dad is pissed off because that statue's been there for years, and not only that, but they're in their highly secret military vehicle and everything. So he wants to know, Jessie, are these your kids? Because he hasn't met them yet. So she's very sad to admit that, yeah, those are her kids that she watches. And we get to see her be stern and everything and even shout at them at times. And it's funny because there's earlier in this episode, it's implied that Jessie cusses and everything. Every time she's bad-mouthing Darla and everything, Bertram hits like the blender, and then it's sort of like, that no good, and then so that's really cute how they did that and clever and stuff. So basically, the Ross's kids are in trouble and this and that. Emma has met a guy, a young guy her age, and he just happens to be Darla's brother. Jessie does not like that and is talking about how her and Darla has a pact, a contract signing that even if they babysit kids, the kids can't fall in love with each other because they have a feud going on. And the feud has been going on ever since their great grandparents and stuff. And so they just don't like each other. And so while the Ross's kids, even though they first got in trouble, they are now woken up at 6 in the morning and they can't do things like push-ups and this and that. And they're really embarrassing Jessie. Jessie wanted to prove to her father that, hey, going to New York was a good thing and babysitting these kids was even better, but they're embarrassing her to the point over and over again. And so it's really hard to make a good impression on him. Well, things go worse for Jessie when she realizes her dad's secret. Her dad's secret is he's getting married to Darla's mom, and that's the only reason why he invited her. And so that's why he's been pressuring her to like be nice to Darla, even though Darla won't be nice to him. Her. And so this causes a whole lot of confusion because Jessie doesn't want to be there. She says she's literally not going to the wedding, and she's even more pissed off at her father. But he's even more pissed off talking about how you basically just ran off and didn't even lost contact with me and stuff like that. So it's a huge family drama that's going on. Because she wants to pursue her own dreams in New York and be an actress, even though her character is not a good one. The real actress is, but her character is like terrible at it. And he feels like she's wasting her time. So many parents and kids go through that stuff, and it's quite a shame and everything. And some people just have to follow their dreams, but to follow your dreams, you gotta make a lot of sacrifices and stuff. But then if you do whatever your parents want, then you're making the ultimate sacrifice right there. And so Of course, the Ross kids get more into like crap. They get back on the bet. Luke and Zuri just wants to keep driving that vehicle, and Ravi will not stop them. And Luke literally tells him like, "Hey, look, man, you're the one who's supposed to like make us stop doing bad stuff." But even Ravi's getting a touch of the dark side in him. So they screw up majorly again. They end up spraying some type of like sticky goo on Darla and some other gooey stuff on like Jesse's dad. Jessie has now finally had it. Like her like head just like exploded and everything. She can't take this crap no more. She's pissed that her father is dating the mother of like her arch nemesis. She's pissed at Emma for falling in love with the sister of the brother of the arch nemesis and everything. And not only that, but the three youngest kids are bad and rotten, and she can't take it. And she literally told him this one. She gets stern with him. Now I like that because on Disney you don't really see her shout at him. She is pissed, and she literally tells them, if you can't mind me, you can't behave, and you know, and all this other stuff, maybe it was a mistake for me to go to New York. She has literally told them she quits and everything. And so she's quit being a nanny. Oh, I forgot to mention, Molly Shannon is the one who plays Darla's mom. I could not believe it. She did a pretty good job, but she didn't have that commanding, voice for like a military leader and stuff. Now, she is from SNL. That's how she got her huge start. Many years ago, back in the 90s, and I remember she was one of the funniest people on there and stuff. And she also got her own SNL movie. Since leaving SNL, she hasn't returned to SNL, I don't believe. Maybe once to pop in, but that was like a long time ago. And so she has a pretty successful movie career and everything. She's one of the few SNL alumni to actually make it. So while this is going on, the Darla's mom's dog, or Darla's dog, is falling in love with Mrs. Kipling. Mrs. Kipling will not have none of that. So even the animals are falling for each other. But the Ross kids are very upset and everything. And because they don't want Jessie to leave. They love Jessie and everything. They really bonded with her and everything. And so, like, Emma, when she heard that, Jessie talking about the kids need to pack their bags, we're heading home so she can quit and everything. But she don't hit a part where Jessie says she's gonna quit. So Emma's all like, no, I love this guy. We're gonna run away and everything. So that's what they do. They run away. And it's just so uncharacteristic of Emma to do something like that. She's all about fashion, and she does like boys, but she ain't gonna just run away with one. So this was just kind of a weird subplot they added. But it works for Jessie to come back around. See, the kids, they tell Jessie, like, hey, Emma ran off and everything. So they have to track her. This is before Find Your app. So they use the scanning device inside the bag. And so Jessie, so like, all right, fine. We ain't supposed to use it, but we gotta use it to find Emma and everything. Because Jessie loves Emma and she loves those kids. So she came back around to rescue them, which she always does, And so, but they keep hitting the wrong buttons, and it turns out the bat can fly. So now they're flying in the air, and that's actually a cool CGI effect they use for that. They use that Disney money well. So after like finding where they're at, they're in a munitions bunker and everything. Well, all these highly deadly explosives are in there. Why are they in there? They have a date. They couldn't find no place by themselves, so they can just hide out. So they found the bunker. Well, the bunker, from what Jessie says, it has a hair trigger on it. So if somebody tries to get inside, it'll blow up. So next thing you know, Emma's all like, we're never leaving. And she hits the emergency lock mechanism. So now they're all stuck inside. And so they have a heart-to-heart and everything. And, Emma tells her, when her mom adopted the other three kids, she didn't want them because it was just her and she didn't want her life to change. And that's something Jessie is going through. She don't want her life to change with her father and Darla and all that. And Emma literally tells her, you're run like she's all like, how could you run off, Emma? And Emma's like, well, you ran off on your dad's wedding, so that's kind of like the same thing. And Jessie realizes she's right, so Jessie's just gonna have to like suck it up and everything. But they can't get out, and so they think, oh, there's no way the kid's gonna be dumb enough to try to blow the door off. Well, they do. They are literally shooting missiles at the freaking door, and it has the hair trigger, and it has now set the self-destruct mechanism. So they use a grappling hook to rip the door down, and then so now they're all free. They head out to the reception area where they're supposed to get married and stuff like that, and Jessie and her dad make amends, and she tells them, you know what, if this is what you want, like, she's happy for him and stuff. Well, they start to hear explosions. They forgot to turn off the self-destruct and everything. And so, Emma has realized, her and her guy, they can just face chat with each other all the time. But of course, that don't last and everything because we won't never see them again. But, this was like a pretty cool like episode. It was a two-parter of all things. And we got to see Jessie's dad. We got to see Jessie skills as a guardian both fail her and help her out. Like, this girl will literally do anything to save these kids. It doesn't matter what it is, and that's how like a guardian is supposed to be. Alrighty, well, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.